So today it's a little different. So it's not one of the recurring episodes. We've not got a guest.
Yeah. Well, I am the guest.
You are. It is the Torie review show. So we are doing reviews of all sorts. We've done events. We've done Black Friday. We did Rogue. And this is a review of your year.
Wow.
It's like, come on down. What that programme had did that. Michael Barrymore, what less said about him better.
Oh, God.
But anyway, we digress again. But I've reined it back in. Okay, so
Let's go.
I'm going to ask you some questions about the year, and you can answer. It's not quick fire. It's none of that shit. We want some in-depth stuff so people can get to know you a little bit and maybe learn either about you or from you. It's like one big episode of Torie's Top Tip, maybe.
Oh, God. This is going to be interesting.
So I'm just going to, and feel free to talk about whether it's personal, professional, Defiant professional, or your other businesses, like whatever you think. Okay. So we're going to start off pretty simply, I guess.
Yep, go for it.
If you had to describe 2024 in one word, what word would you use?
Chaotic.
Chaotic? Fucking hell. You know what? Being part of it, I'd probably agree.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better word for it.
Yeah, but do you want to give any context to that? I know I've asked you just for one word, but I think, you've had a great year. So for someone watching, there you go, exactly that. You've had the best year, but you described it as chaotic. Most people don't like chaos. It drives them a little bit crazy. I might be one of them.
Well, yeah, true. It almost calms me, though. I quite like it.
Calming the chaos.
Calming the chaos. I always work better under pressure. Yeah, chaotic. And I think I've mentioned or alluded to it in previous podcasts that this year, or the back end of last year, I decided that I was going to put my all into building my own career, which I wanted to do for a very long time. So this year was a head down, say no to the bits that were distractions. So my friends have suffered for that. My family have suffered for that. In the sense that I was always the girl that said yes to everything. So I was at every social event, every drinking event, just anything just to be sociable. And I've done almost a complete 180 on that for this year. Put more time and effort into my family and my work, and it has been chaos. There's no hangover days, so there was no downtime, but it was just constantly, how do I get better? Almost like 1% every day, but I'm not really a 1% type of girl. I'm like a 110% type of person, so try to always find ways to improve, whether that be at home, the house, how organised something was, one of the businesses, or myself. So yeah, I'd say chaos, because I was trying to improve in all areas. Granted, not with much skill or direction, but I've honed in on that as the year's gone on, and that's why 2025 is going to look hopefully less chaotic.
Yeah. It's interesting what you say about friends and family that have suffered, because I always think stuff like that, it's like, if they've suffered, then that's their problem. I'm not calling people out, but what I mean is, if they think that they're that important, that all that matters is them and them getting what they need from you, and not supporting you on a journey of development, progression, and success, then I'm more brutal than that. But with Chris Williamson on one of his podcasts, he said that a true friend or a true person that loves you or cares about you, if you say no to that person, they don't get offended by it, because they know you're saying no for the right reasons. Yeah. And it's like, my mum asks me to do stuff all the time, and I always say no, and she'll still ask me the next week. She's never mad. She might miss me. I wish I could do more. Yeah. But she's never like, it's never a negative as such to her. And she knows I'm doing what I need to do. And
I don't think there's been sort of a negativity around it. I explained all to the people I was closest to what I wanted to do for the year, and they have been really good about it. And I meant suffer in terms of what was, I'd see people, speak to people daily, weekly, and that's just got further and further apart naturally, as it would have done. They're all still there, but yeah, my time has been less divided into that, and more into the bits that I wanted to focus on for the year. And I'm glad I've done it. I'm really glad I've done it, because of everything that's happened to me over the year and how it's set me up, all the momentum that's started to gather. It was worth it. It was worth it. So yeah, maybe suffer wasn't the right word, but you knew what I meant.
Well, I clearly didn't. So what would you say that's a bit of a weird question, but the best bit of 2024 has been?
Buying into Defiant Co.
What a great answer.
Is it the right one?
There's no wrong or right answer. But yes, it was
the right answer. Yeah, probably that. Being a part of something that obviously I know about the brand from its from its infancy. Obviously from the outside, work well with you, which is something we've really discovered way before that became an option. So yeah, probably buying into that and seeing the change in you and how we've managed to align our goals, I think, for it, and continually push and want more. And next year's looking really exciting as part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably say that was one of the highlights. There's a few, to be fair, but that was definitely one of them. For Ely Fitness, we've just decided on bringing in a external company as part of the entrepreneur circle that then hone in on various ways to grow your business and make it more profitable. So that I'm really looking forward to as well. That'd be really, really exciting.
That'd be good as well, though, because you'll be able to implement measures like that in the Defiant Co, in your other business. Stuff you learn from that is going to be beneficial for all your businesses, isn't it?
We get access to a whole bunch of experts that have been in their fields, decades and decades and decades. So even that will apply to that as a business. One of the things, which I think we spoke about before, one of the things that I absolutely love is taking something and making it generalized and being able to communicate that to different industries. And that's what I absolutely love about my consultancy job, is because there's so many different industries that I work with, that business is business, customers are customers, money's money, and it's finding what works for you and your business. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So that's like an 18-month program. So yeah, that was another highlight.
Good. And I don't want it to be the same answer. What's been the worst bit of the year?
Well, finding out my dad's ill again. That's probably been the worst bit. Yeah. So yeah, that's been part of the reason, especially to the back end of the year, why I've realised that I need to be spending more time there. That yeah, probably the worst bit, finding out how ill Dad is again. So yeah.
I think that's been a really positive thing for you as well, because like people probably don't know that you're in business with your dad in your consultancy. So you do spend that time with him working, but that's very almost, it's not transactional. Watching you two together, it's fun to watch you together bickering at each other, and you can see where you get your ideas from, because he's a brilliant man. But allowing yourself to have that time with him when it's not just work, because then you both get a little bit more from it. You'll end up talking about work, but because it's not actually just work centric, it just feels a little different, doesn't it, and more relaxed. And he's probably allowed to be right a little bit more.
Definitely. He absolutely lights up, and with everything that he's got going off, it's definitely is like shining light in it, if you like. He is winding back for obvious reasons, which is absolutely fine. But he was the whole reason I got into it in the first place. So it was originally his qualification, so my coaching qualification was his. And that's when he first found out that his cancer had come back. So he said, I think you'd be really good at it. You should do it. I was pregnant at the time with Oscar. And he handed it over to me. And it was his belief, which, if anyone who's had a child, you go through a lot of hormonal changes, identity shift, etc., etc. Not everyone, but I definitely did. And anyway, I was a bit like I love it. I've always kind of done it, especially from an operational point of view, in the last sort of 10, 15 years. But this was more specific, more around sales and marketing. I absolutely love that stuff. So it's like the books that I read, exhibitions and conferences that I've always gone to. My first one, I was actually 17 that I went to.
What you come here?
It was literally hilarious. Paul Gorman, his name was. I got taken to one of those. Absolutely loved it. Anyway, it was ever since then. So I've always had a love for it, and he's seen that in me. So yeah, he gave me his qualification or his coaching license. Took me a year, which was obviously the length of the program. So yeah, it was really, really, really good. And that's how we started it. And then, yeah, absolutely love working with him. Love working with all my business partners, but yeah, we've got with the same people. Yeah. We're actually the same people. So it makes it entertaining. From the outside, you'd think we'd hate each other. But it's then when you and I argue, like
from the outside, from just the outside, it's fun.
It's funny to watch. But yeah, no, he's great.
Yeah,
he's great,
and he's doing amazing.
He is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, what would you say you are most proud of this year?
My personal growth.
Personal growth.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That. What's that?
Amongst the chaos.
You're a dickhead in January, you're a dickhead now. Like, did you do something middle and go back down?
That doesn't change.
Go on then.
I want to stay the same. Personal growth with how do I explain it? like I've taken more time for me this year in the chaos than I have ever previous. Like I say, social was definitely one of my biggest, I don't know, what's traits, character. I was always
Character
attached
flaws,
to.
if you ask me.
But yeah, always sociable. So swapping that time that I would have been doing that, whether that be, like you say, going out drinking, and then feeling hungover the next day, it's almost like I gained 2 days or a day and a half back. And in those days and a half, it's weird how you use your time, whether it's long walks and thinking. Podcasts have been a massive, massive part of my year. Books have been a massive, massive part of my year. And actually time with Oscar, which even though like his conversation is hilarious and I absolutely love speaking to him, you've obviously then still got time with your own thoughts.
Yeah. Do you think, like you said, you spent less time with your friends or your friends and stuff, and when you're talking then about personal growth taking more time for you, so that means you spend less time with them. Do you think that then when you actually see them, you're way more invested in it and you enjoy it more because it's not as regular of an occurrence?
Oh, definitely.
You're kind of like more invested in being there because you've got more to catch up on, and it's so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we spoke about this on the last one, when with listening to podcasts and books and speaking to different people within my work as well, it's just made it's made me think differently. So it's I care more about like what's exciting happening in your life, not sitting there and not a lot happens between 1 week to the next. Like I'd spend most weekends in the pub. So for this, it is nice to catch up with people, like what they're doing, work wise, home wise, etc., etc. So yeah, I definitely think the conversations are richer, the experiences are richer for it. That's obviously on my side, might not be true for the other side. But from my side, definitely. So yeah, no, I think the journey that I've been on and thinking differently has definitely made the experiences that when I do spend time with other people that's not with family, then yeah, I absolutely love it now. We'll see what happens in 2025. But yeah, definitely a better balance with it.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions I had for later was to say what's your biggest personal achievement. So that sounds like that's that. So that's good. So what would you say is your biggest learning from 2024?
Not to care about what other people think.
What a beautiful learning. Don't take advice from people you wouldn't ask for advice. I don't know. What's that saying? There's a saying about like, and it kind of quantifies that a little bit. It's like basically don't worry about what people think that you wouldn't go to for advice, sort of thing. And that's like that.
Probably that.
I think everyone's got an opinion about like what someone should be doing based on what they do, haven't they? So it's like, oh, I like doing this. This person no longer wants to do this and wants to do that. They must be wrong, without actually seeing it through their eyes and wondering why they're doing those things differently, I guess.
But like you say, when you stop care, because that was definitely one of my biggest or my worst things that I used to send myself insane about. Never wanting anyone to feel left out. I never wanted to be left out.
So that's why you said yes to everyone, because you didn't want to. You felt like you were letting people down if you said no to them.
100%, and that is true with nearly everything that I've done for the God knows how long. So yeah, learning, and that granted didn't come naturally, and it took me a long time. But yeah, thinking, well, that actually doesn't matter. Like, where are you happiest? Where do you feel the most content? Where do you feel like you're doing the right thing? And then the more I did that and more leaned into my actual thoughts and feelings, let alone and ignoring what I thought other people, which they probably weren't. But that's what I thought at the time. And then I thought, well, it doesn't actually matter. So like you said before, if they're true family and friends and they believe in the relationship like I do, then that doesn't matter.
I liked it when you said that earlier, like a few months ago now, when you were like starting to review the year. You said I have 3 non-negotiables, and they are my non-negotiables, and everything else can like either play into that or not. And that were Oscar, the gym, and work. And I love that because it's 3 very clear goals that all make you better or all make you feel good. And it's like, yeah, everything else should fit into those main objectives. And if it doesn't, then maybe it's just not supposed to be there anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. To enhance the 3 things that I want to focus on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's gone well so far.
Not been bad.
Not bad.
Right. What have I got down here? So, one thing that you would do differently from 2024?
Be more organised.
Yeah, but I feel like you've addressed that, so we've got what else? Because we talked on the last one about your planner and your bloody colour code and your pen with all these different areas. Look,
I love my pen.
What were the argument we had about this pen? Not that we argue about everything, but do you say it was multicoloured and I said it was multifunctional?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that argument.
Can't you?
Anyway. You sure it was with me?
Yeah, because it's a pen. Like if you press this down, it's red.
Yeah.
Press this down, it's blue. And you said it was multicoloured. And I said it wasn't.
Multifunctional for 4 pens and one.
Yeah, because it's not multicoloured. It's just 4 different colours that come out separately. Multicolours like that jacket Joseph wore, isn't it? Remember that lad? No, technicoloured, not multicoloured. Same thing though, wasn't it? It was snazzy. Went to watch that, Jason Donovan.
Did you?
Jason Donovan.
Is it good?
Man. Yeah. No. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, I don't know how we've got here. So what would you do differently on this fucking conversation? Probably.
About my pen. Yeah. Oh no, I said about being more organised.
Yeah.
So what would I do differently?
Yeah, well, I said I feel like you've addressed that now moving forward. So you can't change what's been in that. I guess if you're asking someone what they do differently, you're asking them to. But yeah, I just thought that were a boring one because you've already fixed that. Something that you maybe would have done differently, you don't know what the solution was. See if we can do a deep dive on it.
Okay, so have more experiences.
Okay.
That's what I'd do differently. I've loved what I've done this year, but that meant obviously no holidays, more or less no days off, which I absolutely love and I wouldn't change at all. But like, given, as I said, my dad's situation, and like even little things, like I'm really looking forward to Christmas, and watching it through a 3-year-old's eyes is just unreal. And that has reminded me, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So like seeing him experience things now, because it is so rich at that age.
Yeah.
I want to experience so much with friends and family, but based on doing new things, experiencing new things, food, drink, music, anything like that. That's definitely something I want to focus on next year.
Like you said, seeing it through a 3-year-old's eyes, then is this the first Christmas where he's really understands it enough to really get excited about it then?
It's just unreal.
Yeah. Just
unreal. But he's literally he counts every set of Christmas lights in the car between wherever we're going to home, and he shouts it, regardless of what time it is. He will literally shout 1, 2, and then he'll say which ones were his favourite, which I can't have the same favourite ones. I have to pick my own.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, seeing it through his eyes, like he absolutely loves it. He loved Halloween, he loved bonfire night, he loved fireworks. So everything it's experiencing it for the first time.
But I think that's a testament. Like, I don't think that's always the case with kids though. Like, I think that's a testament to how you and Ed are obviously raising him, because if he's excited by all those things, that's because he's been encouraged to like enjoy those things. Like you see a lot of people that parent via iPad. You know what I mean? And you can't imagine they're looking up and getting excited by Christmas lights. And I know, like,
well, he does have an iPad.
Yeah, but he doesn't have an iPad, does he? But
no.
But like, I don't know. Whenever I've been around, it's like he just wants to have fun and use his imagination, and I think that's just such a cool thing, because there's a time and a place for using, a screen and stuff. But if that becomes the norm, then like, stuff isn't as exciting, because this little box has got all this excitement here, and if they get too used to that, then the real world is already dull to them, because it's not as exciting as.
Well, I noticed it. I think I
told
you.
Shaun the Sheep or whatever shit they watch.
I noticed it. I think I told you. I don't know if I mentioned it on this or not. So if I have, I'll repeat myself. But on YouTube, well, to be fair, it was I can't remember who it was that said they'd learned whatever it was that they were doing. The kid had learnt it on YouTube. I was like, that's amazing. Like, there'd be stuff on there that's really informative, or teach them something that I'm not teaching them or whatever. So anyway, downloaded the YouTube Kids app on my phone, and whenever that was a time and a place for a phone. So say I've gone and I've got my hair cut and have to take him with me, and he's bored senseless, there is not a lot of play to do in hairdressers, then I'll give it to him then if he wants it. So anyway, he was doing that, so we'd probably had it about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and he started to get like really not short-tempered, but his attention span was so short. So we'd play a game and he'd be like, right, I'm done. So it was like a jigsaw. It literally lasts about a minute, and then he'd be like, next. And I was like, this is so weird. What's happened? And I was thinking about it, and I was watching him over his shoulder, and obviously you can just, like, with any phone, you can scroll when you're bored. Yeah. So as I was watching it, and I was like, that's it. Like, he's seeing it for the amount of seconds that he's got interest, then it can move on. Yeah. And you could see it in his behaviour. So I deleted the app straight away as soon as I realised. It took a week of arguments, and I just said it had disappeared off the phone, which obviously, luckily, he's still young to believe that. And he hasn't asked about it since, and now he'll do things until the end, and then he'll start a new one. So I'd noticed it, and it was only because as I was looking at it, and I was like, well, that'll be what it is.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was a week of hard work, a bit like sleeping when he had a regression. And it was a week of just absolute hell, which putting him back in bed, and then he's gone back to sleeping all the way through. So there's always like a week when we dropped the bottle and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we did it with this, and now much nicer kid. Yeah. Much nicer kid. Now he's likely to watch an entire film.
It's boundaries as well, though, isn't it? Like I heard someone talking about a good parenting technique the other day that I thought was quite interesting. And they were saying that they live in a better part of the world where there's more sun, but they were saying their kids aren't allowed to watch TV unless the sun's down and it's Friday, Saturday or Sunday.
I like that.
So they have to be outside playing. They've got everything they could possibly want. So it makes it a bit easier, but there's always ways to do it. So because those kids know that and that's their boundary, now if they want to watch telly on a Monday,
they don't question. Yeah.
They say, no, you're not allowed. And they're like, oh yeah, because the boundaries have been set, rather than, and the same person said, about their kids when they go to a particular sports class, there's a vending machine right outside the door, and they always ask for something out of that, and he always says no. So then they stopped asking, and he said what he realised was they're going to pass that vending machine every day because it takes them sports all the time, so they will always want something from it. So if he wants to give them a treat, he drives somewhere they've never been before, gets the treat from there, treats them, and then they'll never pass that, so they'll never learn. So the boundaries are still set. That vending machine's off limits, and it's those kind of things, isn't it, that make the kids sort of, because kids want boundaries. They might not know it, but when they're arguing or saying no or pushing back or throwing tantrums, it's because they don't know what the boundaries are. I think. And it's just, if you can't outsmart a child, there's something wrong, isn't it?
It is, and it's definitely a massive learning curve, and it's like noticing that, especially as they're impressionable as they are over these years. Even stupid little things, like we were driving the other day and he was like, no mummy, wrong way. And I was like, we're not going there, we're going here. No, but it's that way. He's nearly got his rights and lefts, and I'm like, it's just unreal. So they take in so much that I just want to be clever with my, hence why next year needs to be a bit more organised. I need to be clever with my time, because I want to, while he is a sponge, I want to give him experiences. I want to go and teach him things and for him to learn things and see things that isn't just within four walls, even though downtime's amazing, and he isn't very good at it because he's definitely more like me in that respect. So sitting still is not his forte, but that's what I'd like to do with my ear.
Good.
Bob's on about what was the question?
I had no idea, but I liked it.
Good.
I got to armchair parent. You got to do whatever you did. So last one then. And I think you might have touched on it, but just be interested to see if it is that. So what is your one? I know you've got many, but if you had to call out one main objective for 2025, what would it be?
Growth. I went back with one word.
What, you want to put some weight on?
No,
get ahead.
No, I've already done that.
See, I didn't say fat. I'm getting better.
Well done.
Shit, I just did.
Oh no. Yeah, growth.
So what do you mean?
I think I said it at the beginning. Use the momentum of what I've done this year with the focus that I've had, but grow next year whilst keeping that momentum. So enriched in experiences. So grow that way. Grow personal development wise. Take my fitness hopefully to a new level. I think I mentioned it. 2024 was handstand walks the length of the gym.
Them.
Got it. But now when I get there, turn around and come back. That might be a bit much, but we'll try.
Maybe you should start doing it at the beginning of your workouts rather than the end.
No, but then I've proved to myself that I can do it.
I'm just saying.
I know. A lot of people say that because there's so many people see me fail every day to get to that 25 metre mark. But anyway, can do it now at the end of a session. So at the beginning, I might be able to do it there and back. You never know.
There you go.
So yeah, this year I was like, I'd like to learn to do muscle ups.
Okay.
I've said it out loud.
There we go.
So Christmas next year, that'd be my next plan.
Growth, personally, professionally, and then fitness-wise, let's get a muscle up. And when you talk about muscle ups, you're talking strict as well, aren't you?
I do.
You're not talking chicken wing nonsense like mine. That one I do every year just to prove I can. Yeah. All right. Well,
so yeah, that was mine. So that concludes.
I think, and now, yeah. All right, so we've done that. One word to describe 2024. What one word do you think you'll describe 2025 as when we get to the end of that and do a similar review?
Success.
Banging.